Welcome to another episode of Tea Time with Mama Swoo. Do you want to achieve an accurate and pleasing skin tone for your photography subjects? In a future episode, Mama Swoo will go over understanding and using custom white balance, lighting, and off-camera flashes in order to capture the most accurate and most pleasing skin tone. In this episode, Mama Swoo will go over the use of Timeinplxels Nobe OmniScope's Vectorscope to visualize and verify skin tone while editing. This process will apply if you are editing a RAW photo or a JPEG photo. This process can work if you're using any editor such as Lightroom Classic, Lightroom CC, or Photoshop. This process is applicable before, during, and after you are using any developed presets, camera profiles, or while you are editing using the basic or HSL modules. What is a vectorscope? A vectorscope measures the chrominance, that is, the color components of a video signal, including hue and saturation. A vectorscope maps a video's color information onto a circular chart. The vectorscope displays a circular chart similar to a color wheel that shows the color's chrominance information. Saturation is measured from the center of the chart outward. Saturated, vivid colors produce a pattern some distance from the center of the chart, while black and white image produces a dot at the center of the chart. The particular color or hue of the image determines the direction or angle of the pattern. Small target boxes indicate where fully saturated magenta, blue, cyan, green, yellow, red should appear. What is the skin tone line? The line between the red and yellow on the vectorscope is the skin tone line, which allows you to quickly and effectively check for accuracy of the skin tones in your footage. All skin types should fall along this line if you want them to look realistic. Does the skin tone line in a vectorscope apply to all skin types? Yes. It turns out that this is simpler and less subjective than you would think. Regardless of ethnicity, pigmentation, or complexion, healthy skin occupies a remarkably narrow range of hues and saturation. Thankfully, our brains respond very precisely to this range, so finding the boundaries is almost diagnostic. Where can I get a vectorscope? Ironically, Vectorscope is well known to video editors who use Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere, DaVinci Resolve, etc. In the photography world, I know that Capture One and Infinity Photo both have a vectorscope. If you search on the internet, you will find that vectorscope is a frequently requested enhancement feature for Lightroom and Photoshop until Adobe decides to implement a vectorscope in the developed module in Lightroom. The only viable option I have found is Nobe OmniScope by Timeinplxels.com. How to download? You can download a trial version by clicking on Downloads. Select the version for either Mac OS or Windows. You can put in your name, email, register in order to request trial download link and temporary 14-day license. After you have installed the program, open System Preferences, go to Security and Privacy, click on Privacy, look for Screen Recording. After you have unlocked, make sure that you have enabled Nobe OmniScope. You may have to look for it by adding this Nobe OmniScope in the application folder. We are going to start Nobe OmniScope. Connect to screen capture. We're going to instantiate a vectorscope. To crop, we can crop to the forehead apply crop. And I can even move it just a little bit. Okay. So notice that in this case, the skin tones actually pretty much fall on the skin tone line. And let's do a few experimentation. For example, for black and white, notice that the Vectorscope show a single dot in the center of the circle. We go back to color. This is a shot with a Canon R6. Lightroom Classic version 11 now have R6 camera matching profile. And we can go to profile, browse. This is the profile for camera portrait. We can play with the white balance. If we change it to cloudy, shade, tungsten, fluorescent, and we'll go back to edge shot. We can play with the HSL slider and notice that magenta has no effect to our skin tone because there are no component of magenta, purple, blue, aqua, or green. I'm going to reset. If you play with the yellow slider, notice that there are slight changes. We're going to play with the red. And we'll play with the orange. Very dramatic change. So we're going to go back to orange. Of course, we can also play with the tone curve, putting medium contrast, strong contrast. We'll go back to the linear. So having this Vectorscope is a powerful and easy way to visualize the changes as you are making the edit. Let's do some presets. So for example, maybe I will do light 2. And we'll do a contrast boost. Maybe peachy warm. And maybe color boost 1. Okay, zooming to notice that the skin tone is pretty much on this. So as I zoom in, also play with white balance. And tint. Remember, Vectorscope is going to aid you to get accurate skin tone. However, it is up to your creativity and artistic discretion to make sure that the subject has the skin tone that is pleasing also. You may not always want or need skin tones to fall on the skin tone line, as dramatic warm or cool lighting may call for a unique balance of colors that will shift your skin tone. While editing, decide on a case-by-case basis if the Vectorscope should be taken into consideration when color correcting your photo. Thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day.